Welcome to the Rare History Channel. Top 15 Fascinating Facts about Steve Jobs. Jobs co-founded Apple in 1976, was forced out of the company in 1985, and returned as CEO in 1996. He continued to be the face of the brand until his death from neuroendocrine cancer in 2011. Behind his public image as a tech genius, there are lesser-known facts that reveal the extraordinary life and personality of this iconic figure. In this video, we delve into 15 shocking and rare facts about Steve Jobs that shed light on his unconventional journey. Fact number 1. Steve Jobs was adopted. Jobs may have been a very public figure, but he was always careful to keep his private life hidden. Born on February 24, 1955, in San Francisco, California, Steve Jobs was given up for adoption by his biological parents, Joanne Schiebel and Abdel Fattah Jandali. His biological father, Abdel Fattah Jandali, was a Syrian immigrant. He rebuffed Jandali's attempts to get in touch and denied paternity of his own daughter, Lisa, for many years. Number 2. He was also a college dropout. Don't let anyone tell you a college degree is a prerequisite for professional success. Jobs came from a working-class background and dropped out of Reed College after just 6 months due to the financial strain it put on his family. Intriguingly, Jobs revealed decades later that a calligraphy class he took at Reed inspired the earliest typography used in Mac computers. Number 3. Jobs almost became a Buddhist monk. In 1974, Jobs traveled to India to stay at the Neen Karoli ashram, seeking spiritual enlightenment. Unfortunately, upon his arrival, he had learned of Neen Karoli's death the previous year, so he altered his trip. Instead, he headed to the ashram of Haidakan Babaji, where he spent 7 months before returning to the US. Jobs started to practice Zen Buddhism, which became a huge part of his life. At one point, he considered becoming a monk at Aiheiji in Japan. Number 4. Steve Jobs started wearing his signature black turtleneck because his employees didn't want to wear a company uniform. The sleekness of Apple's product design translated to Jobs' well-known wardrobe. The majority of pictures of Jobs show him in a black turtleneck paired with jeans and sneakers. He didn't wear just any black turtleneck. The famous top was by the innovative Japanese designer Issey Miyake. Jobs was originally inspired to start dressing in uniform when he visited the Tokyo headquarters of Sony in the 80s and admired the minimalist Miyake-designed uniforms the employees wore. He loved the uniforms so much, in fact, that he commissioned Miyake to design uniforms for Apple, but his employees hated the idea. Jobs compromised by adopting the signature Miyake turtleneck. He owned around 100 of them, and while the exact style he wore was discontinued after his death, Miyake later released a similar black turtleneck as an homage to the unlikely fashion influencer. Number 5. Founding Apple in a garage. In 1976, Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne founded Apple Computer Incorporated. The company's first headquarters was located in Jobs' parents' garage in Los Altos, California. From this humble setting, they embarked on their mission to revolutionize the computer industry. With minimal resources, they worked tirelessly to create the Apple I computer, handcrafting each unit. Despite their modest beginnings, Apple would go on to become one of the world's most influential technology companies, transforming industries with products like the Macintosh, iPod, iPhone, and iPad. The garage startup mythos surrounding Apple symbolizes the power of innovation and serves as a reminder that greatness can emerge from unexpected places. Number 6. Steve Jobs didn't have some of the technological savvy you might expect. While he forever changed the world of technology, to his colleagues, Jobs was better known for his business savvy and creativity than his technical prowess. Steve Wozniak, who co-founded Apple with Jobs and stepped down in 1985, once said he did not know technology. He'd never designed anything as a hardware engineer, and he didn't know software. He wanted to be important, and the important people are always the business people. So that's what he wanted to do. Number 7. Steve Jobs dated a 60s musical icon. A decade before he met his wife, Laureen Powell, Jobs dated folk singer Joan Baez in 1982. Jobs described their connection as a serious relationship between two accidental friends who became lovers. Baez had famously dated Bob Dylan and performed with him in the 60s and 70s. It just so happened that Jobs was also a huge Dylan fan. He and Wozniak originally bonded over their fandom for the prolific artist and collected his bootleg recordings. Jobs finally met his musical hero in 2004, but their topics of conversation remain unknown. Number 8. Steve Jobs experimented with psychedelic drugs. Like many baby boomers, Jobs was something of a hippie in his younger years. He and his friend and future employee, Daniel Kotke, would frequently trip on LSD during college in the 70s. Kotke described himself and Jobs as monk wannabes. Jobs was very influenced by Be Here Now, a 1971 book on meditation by spiritual teacher Ram Dass, and practiced Zen Buddhism. The Buddhist principles of mindfulness even supposedly helped inspire Apple's simple yet effective product designs. Number 9. A strict fruitarian, Steve Jobs' dietary habits. Steve Jobs followed a strict fruitarian diet, which consisted mainly of raw fruits, nuts, and seeds. He believed in the simplicity and purity of natural foods and chose to name his company Apple as a reflection of his love for the fruit. Jobs and his wife maintained a vegan lifestyle, avoiding all animal products. While his dietary choices were a personal aspect of his life, they showcased his unconventional and forward-thinking approach. However, it's important to note that fruitarianism is a highly debated diet, and its restrictive nature may pose nutritional risks if not carefully managed. Number 10. Jobs had a liver transplant. In 2003, Steve Jobs was diagnosed with cancer, a tumor in his pancreas. Initially, Jobs ignored suggested medical treatment in search of alternatives. It is thought that the alternative treatment is possibly why Jobs experienced such an early death. In 2004, he finally underwent surgery to remove the tumor from his pancreas. Sadly, in 2006, his tumor returned, but not everyone knew. Tim Cook offered Jobs a part of his liver as they both have a rare blood type. In April 2009, Jobs had a liver transplant in Memphis, Tennessee, at the Methodist University Hospital Transplant Institute. In January 2011, Apple granted Jobs medical leave to focus on his health. Number 11. Health struggles and resignation. Steve Jobs battled serious health issues, including a rare form of pancreatic cancer, for many years. Despite his health challenges, he continued to lead Apple and introduce innovative products. However, in 2011, his deteriorating health forced him to resign as Apple's CEO. His resignation marked the end of an era and led to widespread concern about the future of the company without its iconic leader. Number 12. Pixar Animation Studios. In 1986, Steve Jobs purchased the computer graphics division of Lucasfilm Limited, which eventually became Pixar Animation Studios. Under his leadership, Pixar revolutionized the animation industry with films like Toy Story, Finding Nemo, and The Incredibles. Pixar's success not only brought Jobs immense financial gains but also solidified his status as a visionary in the entertainment world. Number 13. Steve Jobs wasn't so into the concept of the Genius Bar. Apple stores are known for their sparkling white aesthetic and Genius Bar customer service. Not every element of the stores was specified to Jobs' liking, though. In 2000, Apple hired Ron Johnson to run their first retail stores. Johnson was responsible for coming up with the now signature Genius Bar, and recalled that when he told him about his idea, Jobs called it idiotic and said, "Ron, you might have the right idea, but here's the big gap. I've never met someone who knows technology who knows how to connect with people. They're all geeks. You can call it the Geek Bar." Number 14. Steve Jobs wanted the original iPhone to be primarily used as a phone. It's no exaggeration to say the iPhone changed cell phones forever, making them into highly functional mini-computers and further pushing users away from making phone calls thanks to the ease of texting and social media integration. It's somewhat surprising to learn that the original iPhone was primarily meant to be just that, a phone. At the 2007 keynote introducing the product, Jobs said, "We want to reinvent the phone." What's the killer app? The killer app is making calls. It's amazing how hard it is to make calls on most phones. Number 15. Steve Jobs' final words were "Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow." Jobs didn't meet his biological sister, Mona Simpson, until she was in her 20s. Simpson, a novelist, gave the eulogy at Jobs' funeral, describing their unique relationship and remembering his final days during his battle with cancer. At the end of the speech, Simpson revealed that her older brother died peacefully, with the simple yet poignant final words "Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow."